In 1994, a Wall Street executive walked away from a six-figure salary to sell books out of his garage. 27 years later, he became the richest person in human history, with a net worth of $211 billion. His name is Jeff Bezos, and the company he built, Amazon, didn't just make him wealthy. It fundamentally changed how 7 billion people shop, read, watch entertainment, and store data. But here's what most people don't know. Jeff Bezos didn't start with books because he loved reading. He started with books because of a very specific business calculation. And every decision he made afterward followed the same ruthless logic that would eventually make Amazon worth over $1.7 trillion. Today, we're breaking down exactly how Jeff Bezos built Amazon, the strategies, the pivot points, the moments where he bet everything and won. This is the complete story of how one man built the most dominant company of the 21st century. Jeffrey Preston Bezos was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico in 1964. His biological father abandoned the family when Jeff was a toddler. His mother remarried Miguel Bezos, a Cuban immigrant who adopted Jeff and gave him his name. From an early age, Jeff showed an unusual obsession with understanding how things worked. He dismantled his crib with a screwdriver when he was 3. He turned his parents' garage into a laboratory filled with science experiments. His high school valedictorian speech was about colonizing space. Jeff was brilliant, ambitious, and utterly convinced he was destined for something extraordinary. After graduating from Princeton with degrees in electrical engineering and computer science, Jeff headed to Wall Street. He worked at several financial firms before landing at D.E. Shaw, a quantitative hedge fund. By age 30, he was a senior vice president making serious money. But in 1994, Jeff came across a statistic that changed everything. Internet usage was growing at 2,300% per year. 2,300%. Jeff immediately understood what this meant. The internet was about to explode. And whoever dominated online commerce would become unimaginably wealthy. Jeff didn't waste time. He made a list of 20 products he could potentially sell online. Books, CDs, computer hardware, software, office supplies. He analyzed each category systematically, looking for the perfect product to launch an internet business. Books won for very specific reasons. First, there were over 3 million books in print, far more than any physical bookstore could stock. Second, books were non-perishable and easy to ship. Third, book distributors already had established systems he could leverage. Fourth, books had a universal appeal across demographics. This wasn't about passion. This was pure business calculation. Jeff saw an opening, and he took it. In July 1994, Jeff quit his Wall Street job. His boss tried to convince him to stay, even suggesting he think about the decision over a weekend. But Jeff had already decided. He drove cross-country with his wife, Mackenzie, writing his business plan in the passenger seat. They settled in Seattle for a very strategic reason. Seattle was close to a major book distributor in Oregon. Washington State had a smaller population than California, which meant he'd collect less sales tax. And Seattle had a deep pool of technical talent from Microsoft. Jeff rented a house in the suburbs. He set up shop in the garage. He recruited a few employees, including Shel Caffin, who would become Amazon's first CTO. They started building the website. Jeff wanted to name the company Cadabra, as in abracadabra. His lawyer misheard it as cadaver and convinced him to reconsider. Jeff went through the dictionary looking for something better. He landed on Amazon. Amazon suggested scale. The Amazon River was the biggest river in the world. Jeff wanted to build the biggest store in the world. The name stuck. On July 16, 1995, Amazon.com went live. The website was basic by today's standards. But it had something revolutionary. Selection. Amazon offered over 1 million book titles from day one, compared to maybe 40,000 in the largest physical bookstore. The pitch was simple. Any book you want, delivered to your door. Amazon's first week was shocking. They made sales in all 50 states and 45 countries. No advertising. Just word of mouth and internet buzz. But Jeff wasn't celebrating. He was obsessing over customer experience. He personally packed boxes. He drove packages to the post office. He answered customer service emails at midnight. He wanted to understand every part of the operation. Amazon's early model was straightforward. When a customer ordered a book, Amazon would order it from a distributor, receive it, and ship it to the customer. They held minimal inventory, low overhead, high margins. Revenue grew exponentially. $30,000 in 1995, $500,000 in 1996, $15.7 million in 1997. But Jeff wasn't satisfied with being a bookstore. From the very beginning, his vision was much bigger. He wanted Amazon to be the everything store. Books were just the entry point. In May 1997, Amazon went public. The IPO raised $54 million and valued Amazon at $438 million. Jeff owned 42% of the company, making him worth about $200 million on paper. Wall Street was skeptical. Amazon had never turned a profit. Critics called it overvalued. Some analysts predicted the company would fail within 2 years. Jeff didn't care what Wall Street thought. He had a plan, and it had nothing to do with short-term profits. In his first shareholder letter, Jeff laid out his philosophy. Amazon would focus on long-term growth over short-term profits. They would make bold investment decisions. They would obsess over customers, not competitors. And they would measure success by market leadership, not quarterly earnings. This letter became legendary. Jeff attached it to every annual shareholder letter for the next 25 years. It was his manifesto. His declaration that Amazon would play by different rules. And he meant it. Throughout the late 1990s, Amazon poured every dollar back into growth. They expanded beyond books into music, DVDs, electronics, toys, and tools. They built massive distribution centers. They invested in technology infrastructure. They lost money on almost every sale. Traditional retailers mocked them. How could a company that loses money on every transaction possibly survive? Jeff understood something they didn't. On the internet, scale equals power. Whoever got biggest fastest would dominate. Profits could come later. Market share mattered now. By 1999, Amazon's revenue hit $1.6 billion. They were the undisputed leader in online retail. Time magazine named Jeff Bezos Person of the Year, but then everything collapsed. In 2000, the dot-com bubble burst. Internet stocks crashed. Hundreds of online retailers went bankrupt overnight. Amazon's stock plummeted from $113 to $6 per share. The company lost 94% of its market value. Financial analysts declared Amazon finished. Journalists wrote obituaries. Competitors celebrated. The headline Amazon.bomb appeared in magazines. But Jeff Bezos didn't panic. While other CEOs were scrambling, he stayed focused on the long-term vision. Amazon had something most dot-com companies didn't: real revenue. Real customers, real infrastructure. Jeff made brutal decisions to survive. He laid off 1,400 employees. He closed distribution centers. He cut costs everywhere he could. But he never stopped investing in the customer experience. In 2001, Amazon turned its first profitable quarter. Not for the year, just one quarter. But it was proof the model worked. Jeff doubled down on his strategy. He pushed into more product categories: kitchenware, sporting goods, jewelry. Anything customers wanted, Amazon would sell. But the real breakthrough came from an unexpected place. Amazon had built an incredibly sophisticated technology infrastructure to run its retail operation. Massive server farms, advanced databases, complex algorithms. This infrastructure was expensive, but Amazon needed it. Then Jeff had an idea. What if Amazon rented out its infrastructure to other companies? What if they turned their internal technology into an external business? In 2006, Amazon launched Amazon Web Services. AWS offered cloud computing, data storage, and processing power that companies could use without building their own infrastructure. The business world didn't understand it at first. Why would an online bookstore want to compete with IBM and Microsoft in enterprise technology? But Jeff saw what others didn't. Oz would become the most profitable business Amazon ever created. By the mid-2000s, Amazon was firing on all cylinders. The retail business was growing, AWS was gaining traction. But Jeff wasn't done. In 2007, Amazon launched the Kindle e-reader. Publishers hated it. They thought digital books would cannibalize print sales. Jeff didn't care. He knew customers wanted convenience. Within 5 years, e-books became a multi-billion-dollar market, and Amazon owned 70% of it. Then came Amazon Prime. For $79 a year, customers got free 2-day shipping on millions of items. Financial analysts called it insane. They calculated Amazon would lose money on every Prime member. Jeff disagreed. He understood customer psychology. Once someone paid for Prime membership, They'd shop on Amazon more often to justify the cost. Prime members would become locked into the Amazon ecosystem. He was right. Prime launched in 2005 with a few million members. By 2020, Prime had over 200 million members worldwide, generating $25 billion in subscription revenue alone. But Prime membership was never about subscription fees. It was about loyalty. Prime members spent twice as much as non-Prime members. They shopped on Amazon first, often not even checking competitor prices. Jeff was building a moat around Amazon that competitors couldn't cross. Then Amazon entered video streaming. Amazon Prime Video launched in 2011, competing directly with Netflix. They spent billions producing original content. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, The Boys, Jack Ryan. They weren't just selling products anymore. They were selling entertainment. Amazon expanded into groceries with the acquisition of Whole Foods for $13.7 billion in 2017. Now they controlled physical retail locations. They could offer same-day grocery delivery. They could experiment with cashier-less Amazon Go stores. Every acquisition, every new business, every expansion served Jeff's original vision. Amazon would sell everything to everyone, everywhere. And the profits started rolling in. Not from retail, where margins were thin, but from AWS, which became a cash printing machine. By 2028, AWS generated $45 billion in revenue with operating margins over 30%. Oz alone was worth more than most Fortune 500 companies. Amazon's total revenue hit $386 billion in 2020. Jeff Bezos' net worth reached $211 billion, making him the richest person in history. But the empire came with controversy. Amazon's dominance created serious problems. Small businesses claimed Amazon copied their products and undercut their prices. Employees in fulfillment centers reported brutal working conditions. Drivers complained about impossible delivery quotas. Labor unions accused Amazon of union busting. Privacy advocates criticized Amazon's data collection. Antitrust regulators investigated whether Amazon had too much market power. Jeff defended Amazon aggressively. He argued that Amazon created jobs, provided convenience, and lowered prices for consumers. He claimed the company operated legally and ethically. But the criticism intensified. Congressional hearings, protests, negative media coverage. The narrative around Amazon shifted from innovative disruptor to ruthless monopoly. Jeff's personal life became tabloid fodder when his divorce from Mackenzie became public, followed by revelations about his relationship with Lauren Sanchez. The National Enquirer allegedly attempted to blackmail him with compromising photos. Jeff fought back publicly, accusing the publication of extortion. He published the threats online. It was a rare glimpse into his personal life, which he'd always kept intensely private. Through it all, Amazon kept growing. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated online shopping adoption by years. Amazon hired hundreds of thousands of workers. Revenue soared. Jeff's wealth increased by $70 billion during the pandemic alone. But something changed. After building Amazon for 27 years, Jeff decided to step back. On February 2, 2021, Jeff Bezos announced he would step down as Amazon CEO. He'd remain executive chairman, but Andy Jassy, the head of LAAs, would take over day-to-day operations. Jeff wanted to focus on other projects. Blue Origin, his space company, aimed to make space travel accessible. The Bezos Earth Fund pledged $10 billion to fight climate change. The Washington Post, which he'd bought in 2013, needed attention. But mostly, Jeff had proven his point. He'd built Amazon from a garage startup into the most powerful company on Earth. He'd transformed retail, publishing, entertainment, and cloud computing. He'd become the richest person in history. On July 20, 2021, Jeff flew to space aboard Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket. The 11-minute flight cost hundreds of millions to develop. Critics argued he should spend that money solving Earth's problems instead of joyriding in space. Jeff disagreed. He believed humanity's future required space exploration. Earth's resources were finite. Space offered infinite possibilities. This wasn't vanity, this was vision. Today, Amazon dominates e-commerce with a 40% market share in the United States. Oz controls 32% of the global cloud computing market. Amazon Prime has over 200 million subscribers. The company employs over 1.6 million people. Jeff Bezos' net worth fluctuates with Amazon's stock price, but it typically hovers around $150 billion to $200 billion. He sold tens of billions in Amazon stock to fund Blue Origin and other ventures. So how did Jeff Bezos build Amazon? Through relentless long-term thinking. Through obsessive customer focus. Through willingness to lose money for years to build market dominance. Through diversification into every profitable adjacent business. Jeff didn't invent online shopping. He didn't invent cloud computing. He didn't invent e-readers or streaming video. But he saw opportunities before others did. And he executed better than anyone else. Jeff built Amazon on a few core principles. Customer obsession over competitor focus. Long-term thinking over short-term profits. Willingness to fail repeatedly until something works. An absolute conviction that scale equals power. He was ruthless in business. He demanded excellence from employees. He crushed competitors. He exploited regulatory gaps. He built a monopoly so powerful that regulators worldwide are still trying to figure out how to control it. But he also built something genuinely revolutionary. Amazon made shopping faster and cheaper. AWS made technology accessible to startups and enterprises alike. Kindle made books available instantly. Prime Video produced acclaimed entertainment. Love him or hate him, Jeff Bezos changed the world. He proved that one person with a vision, a plan, and unwavering determination could build an empire that touches billions of lives. The garage where Amazon started is now a historical landmark. The company that began by selling books now sells everything. And the man who started it all is now focused on colonizing space. Jeff Bezos' story is the ultimate tale of ambition, strategy, and execution. From Wall Street to a garage to the richest person on earth. That's how you build an empire. If you found this breakdown of Jeff Bezos and Amazon's rise fascinating, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're covering the most incredible business empires and entrepreneurial journeys you won't find anywhere else. Drop a comment below. What other business titans should we break down next? Elon Musk's Tesla empire? Mark Zuckerberg's meta dominance? The rise of Warren Buffett? And if you want to understand how modern tech monopolies actually operate, check out our video on how Google built its search empire. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.